kind of looks like the pan has like little vampire teeth now. I thought maybe there was an issue with this, so I decided to test this out. This is having the same kind of issue. It was definitely 100% just that stupid hose, so I thought everything here was sealed up good. Turns out there is a little bit of water coming down there. It is Tuesday, so I went and got the light checked out this morning. It took forever at the dealership, just like when I got those rain guards taken care of, but just took even longer. Turns out all it was I had replaced the gas cap with a locking gas cap, because I don't know why they're still making cars in 2021 with non-locking gas caps. Like there's nothing in here to pull to unlock, like you just go out there and open the little metal door. So I put on a locking gas cap, and it's been on there for almost the entire time that I've owned the van, and suddenly it, for some reason, set off a little thing on the check engine light. So Nissan said they don't make gas caps, locking ones, so they told me basically it doesn't do anything bad to the van itself, so just keep the locking one on there, and anytime I need to do an inspection or whatever, just put the old one back on, and then when the inspection's over, you can just switch it right back. I wish I didn't have to wait that many hours just to find out that information, but I also got my oil change while I was there, so at least that's taken care of. This is what I went and picked up from Lowe's. I was looking in their section with, like, you know, the curtain rods and dowels for closets and stuff, and I saw a you know, this kind of a hanger thing. It was actually a different one that attaches to those, I don't know how to explain it, but they have like those white thin bars, and you put like two of them next to each other, and then you can hang up those shelves or different things. And one of the things you could hang off it was a coat rack kind of a thing, and I couldn't figure out how I would make that work in here. I was like, those things are way too long to fit on this side or anything. So I was like, I like that idea, because then it's not a dowel that's extending out and having to bear the weight. Because I was like, oh, I could hook it up here, which sticks out pretty far from over there. But this is where that metal piece is that goes across, because you can see where the screws are linked up here. Also need to tighten the screw. I don't know why I don't know if the wood went up, or I probably did, because you can see there's like separation there, so I'm gonna tighten that up. But I could link it up here, one of the whatever I would have the dowel attached to, but then there's nothing. The next one isn't until all the way back here, and then over here is just that thin wood, and then down here is where the 2x4, and over here 2x4 somewhere, I don't know. So I was like, well, that it's gonna have one spot that's stable, but then if I attach anything up here, it's just more thin plywood that's just on the ceiling. And I thought I could put a 2x4 behind this and then screw it into there, so the weight wouldn't, you know, there would be a thing holding it up here, but the weight would really be focused on here. And it was going to be just a huge project, pain in the ass. And then I saw this, so I was like, I could just take this, and at first I thought it might fit up there, but then I saw the measurements on it, so it was like 19 inches. I'm like, well, I know that's not 19 inches. I think it's only like 13 or 14 inches comes out. I forget what the measurement was. So I figured I'll just put it right up here, and then that way I can just hang up all the things I need to hang up on there. I don't have to worry about it sticking out here into, you know, the spot where I'm sitting or trying to walk by or anything. It's going to be kind of more out of the way up against there, and I don't have to worry about the fact that, you know, it's on a dowel that's dangling through the van that can just snap off. So there's only spots for 2 screws, so one there and then one over here, but it is going into the metal. Also came with these 2 screws and also these things, which I think I'll use because it's not going into like a thick piece of wood, it's just going through that thin plywood and then that little bit of metal. So I'll probably use that. And I was trying to find if I could find something that I could put, you know, even just in the middle here, that basically I could put like a screw in, have something holding it in there. I was thought about using like a washer or something, but the washers that would be big enough to actually, like, you know, hold these 2 pieces of metal down. The holes were so big I would use like a massive screw for it. Otherwise the screw would just go like right through it and wouldn't do anything. So I figure I'll just give it a shot with the 2 screws, try and test it out, drive around for a couple days. If everything holds, then it's fine. It's, you know, being held in there by that metal. If there are any issues, if I'm noticing some wobble with it, I can always just go and find something to hook up there to add that little bit more stability in the middle part of it. So yeah, I already kind of held it up here and just marked out some spots. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill, work on getting those crazy plastic things. I've only used things like this once before and I kind of hated them, but I'm going to try to use it because I think it'll be good to add a little bit more hold when going through here. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot, see what happens, and I will show you what happened along the way. Okay, so that was a million times easier than dealing with the dowel. I'm still actually working on the dowel stuff. I puttied up the hole there, and then all the holes over here. So once that dries, I'm gonna go ahead and have to restain, repaint. Also gonna, the spots where I took out those hooks, since I didn't need those extra boards, I also went ahead and puttied those before. But yeah, I ended up not using these things because these are so big, so like they got so much length to them that I think it would have stuck out. And just the screw alone to get it to fit in here, it'll show up on here. You can actually see it's right out there. So that's the only screw out of all the ones that went in here that actually had to go through that extra piece of metal. So I'm going to test the door. As far as I can tell, should not affect it in any way because the door thing rides in the middle here, whereas that is on the inside there, wherever there is. So that should be fine. But it feels really, really secure, even with just those two screws. The only wiggle to it at all is just a little bit when you are holding all the way at the top, and that's not even wiggling the screw part. That's just the general, just how it was built. It's not like invincible magic Wolverine steel or some shit. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess do some just testing, hang up a few things. I will, once this stuff dries, have to kind of take that back down so I can do the staining and painting without getting that all over whatever clothes I have hanging up here. Yeah, and then what I want to do next is I have another one of these somewhere buried in that box of tools that's a mess. I need to get one put in down there, or actually I could put it over here now that I don't have that dowel system over here. So I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put it, because I was thinking putting it way down there because I was gonna have a dowel over here with stuff hanging, but actually I have like space over here now, so I might do it here. But this one, I'll still leave this up here for hanging up whatever little things, but this backpack hangs down so low that I can't really use the sink that well, unless I just take this off and put it somewhere and then hang it back up again. So I definitely need to hang up another one of these hooks, and I might even pick up another pack one, because I can hang up one here and I could do one on either side in the back there to hang up things. Also, we just put in this yesterday morning, I think. All it is just 2 screws in it, but I have 3 more of these little baskets, so I figure those would be good for keeping a little item in, like hand soap and salt and pepper or whatever, napkins, and I can hang them up just kind of around. I could do like another one above it or somewhere over here. I can do them above the windows if I wanted, just to put little things in and keep stuff more organized, because right now this is where I'm keeping like a lot of electronics and different things. The remotes are just in here. There's pens and my glass case in there. There's journals and camera equipment, all just buried in there. So I figure whatever I can help just organize as far as like wires or whatever else be good. So I'm gonna work on hanging those up. Get the other little octopus thing hung up, and yeah, I guess just general organizing, and I'll probably run some more stuff over to like Goodwill to donate and stuff like that. I got more stuff in here. I got these, there's some kind of bamboo that made of like just straight up bamboo, like cut, like that's a fake wood grain on there, but it's like ground up bamboo powder that they turn into plates and cups and bowls, and they're super lightweight. I just got this in today, and I really like them. They're supposed to be very strong too, which is good. So lightweight and strong is great for van life. That's just the way I'm gonna need to do something with that. But only downside of this, I got these off Amazon. I don't remember the name of the brand. It's like Eco something, I don't know. But if you look up like bamboo plates or whatever, it'll show up. But the only downside is these bowls, they didn't really have a great picture of. These are tiny. So I'll show you. So yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know if you can tell that well in the video. I mean, it looks pretty small here on this camera. But basically it is, imagine like if you're at like some kind of like Japanese restaurant and they give you a bowl of that soup that has like nothing in it. It's like that kind of bowl. It's a little one. This is not like a big American cereal bowl kind of bowl. But I like never eat cereal or anything. The only time I really use a bowl is for like, I don't know, making a salad, and I'll just do that on one of these big plates because that bowl's not going to hold enough salad or whatever I'm going to put in there. So that, I don't know what I'll use those for. But yeah, it came with cups, small plates, big plates, a little like dip kind of holder, and then I also picked up this cool silverware holder. Honestly, I mostly wanted it for the holder. I didn't actually need the silverware, but I thought the holder was really cool, so I'm planning on putting some kind of like screw or something in there to hold it down. But I've been driving around with this back here for like a good week or so, and it has not fallen over at all. I think those little balls that are on the front there, the back ones are like in between the 2x4 and the piece of plywood there, kind of like it's sitting in that little nook. So it's it hasn't moved at all, has not flipped over one time, so I might not even bother putting anything on there to hold it down. Yeah, so that's just some of the random projects I've been working on. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for this along with the screws that I need for it, and just work on hanging that up and hanging up some more of those. Okay, so I just hung up, these are my suits. I got a this bag here so I can fit both suits and vests in here. Also in these little front pockets I whipped in my suspenders, so all that is all in there together. And then it has this little thing so you can basically just flip it up and it doesn't hang down as low. So that's hanging off there. I haven't brought anything else up yet, but I put in the other octopus over here, so that's all good to go. So now the sink is all wide open. I can actually use it instead of battling a backpack every time I want to use the sink. I did look for those other hook things again when I was there, and once again they just had those boxes, but I took the boxes to one of the Lowe's employees, and he was like, well, now that I have these boxes out of here, when we do our scanning we'll know that we need to order them. So I just don't want to order them online because they come in different sizes, and I don't actually know what size I want. I want to actually be able to see them in person, because it just says like 1.5 inch or 2.5 inch. I was like, well, what is it 1.5 inches wide? Is it the little bar lock thing? Is it 1.5 inches long, or like what is, I don't know what that measurement means. So I'd rather just see them in person. So hopefully sometime soon they'll actually get them in now. Yeah, so I'm not going to bring anything else out yet because, like I said, I'm going to have to do the painting once that's a little bit more dry, and the staining over there. So I'm going to go ahead and work on some other stuff over here. I have this hook to get my cast iron pan up under here, so I'm going to figure out where I want that. Use a big ass drill bit, I guess, and try to get this up in here. This is going to be a pain in the ass because once I drill up in there, I'm basically just spinning this by hand up into there, and I'm going to want it to be pretty, snug, tight fit, so the heavy ass cast iron pan doesn't rip it out of there. But I'm just going to put it into one of the 2x4s under here, which just goes all along the back. There's 2x4s going all the way along it, so or I could even put it somewhere along where that meets up, but I want it all the way up against the wall anywhere. So I'm just going to pick wherever seems like a good spot. So I'm going to grab that pan so I can see how far down it's going to hang, because I know that the hook itself is going to hang down that far. So I'll see how much further it goes down and then figure out where I want it to be. Okay, so this pan has some serious weight to it while trying to hold it up with just that hook. I don't know, allergies are getting me, what it is, but so I held it up here, not while filming, but it basically came down and was just kind of hitting that tip of that metal, I don't know what they call that thing, basket. So I don't think I really want it right there, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably just put it just like maybe right in the middle, or maybe I'll just put it all the way over here because there's not really gonna be anything here because the that plug is there. So maybe I'll just put it there because that's lower than that, so I won't have to worry about hitting that. I think I might do it that way. Just have it somewhere over here, over that plug. It's kind of out of the way. Don't have to worry about water ever splashing on it really from the sink if I'm washing dishes or whatever and making this rust or anything. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just put it somewhere over on this end here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to hold it up there and figure out where I'm going to put it, mark it, and then do some crazy drilling, trying to get underneath here and drill the crap out of the 2x4 and then somehow spin this thing in there while I'm like upside down underneath the cabinet in between this cabinet. Okay, that was actually really, really easy. I don't know, these other hooks must just suck, because that one I just put the 1/4-inch bit on, which was like the closest thing that lined up with the size for it. Drilled up there, wasn't even sure if I drilled enough, but I figured I'll just test it to spin up there, spun it up there no problem, and then just put the pan on there and it's good to go. The only thing was I didn't think about when I was spinning the hook how close it would be to the wall, so every time I spun it around, this edge hit the wall, and now I have like a weird little, I don't know, like artsy Christmas tree looking thing that's all gray behind it. So yeah, there's that. But otherwise looks fine. Granted, when I'm hitting like bumps and stuff, it will like move around, but as far as I can tell, I'm just pulling on it right now and seems to be totally secure, so I don't think it's gonna fall off here. The only way it's falling off is if I hit a bump so hard or flip the whole van that the pan itself, this heavy ass pan, lifts up and moves out all at the same time and drops off. Otherwise, I think that's more or less staying put, other than just, like I said, moving around there. So yeah, I think that looks all good. I am going to be getting little hanging, I don't know, they're like cloth mesh bag things to put like produce in that doesn't need to be refrigerated. So I'm going to use these hooks for that, so that's the only reason I'm keeping those around. I still need to hook this up. I keep forgetting about this. Maybe I'll just do that next, because it's just here on the counter for no reason. And then I'm going to figure out where I want to put the rest of those little baskets. I think I'm going to put one above the window on each side, and then I don't know where I'm going to put the last one. Maybe I'll even put it on like one of the doors or something, just for that a little bit. I was thinking about putting it over here as an extra basket, but with those hanging things, I don't know if I'm gonna, depending on what size they are. Some people said they were big, some people said they were small. Pictures were kind of like, some of them looked like, oh, you can fit 1,000,000 things in there, and some of them were like, oh, you fit like 2 apples in there and it's full. So once they actually come and I get to see them, I'll figure out how much space they're gonna take up and how many do I want. Is it so big that I just want like one right there and that's it, and then I'll put another basket here. So I'll hold off on doing the last basket, but the other two I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna put above there. That way, like if I'm charging a phone on the USB, I just put it up there. Granted, if I put it on here, even while driving, it seems to stay in place on the windowsills, but I figure it'll just be more secure, and I can also put, you know, books or a flashlight for an emergency or anything like that up there. So I figure those would be good spots to store random things. But yeah, I think I was saying I'm gonna do this next because I constantly forget about it, and I definitely want to just get that taken care of and be done with it, especially because it's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass hooking up down there. I think I'm gonna have to disconnect the solar and batteries and everything, and then put that one on and drill it into whatever the hell. I honestly didn't even look into what I'm going to be drilling. Let me see. What the hell size is this? I don't know if I'm gonna have a screw that's big enough, has big enough of a like screw head to hold that down. I'm gonna have to look at my screws and figure out. I don't know if my screws might just go right through that. I'm gonna have to look into that real quick. Okay, so these are my usual 1-inch screws. So screw head on this is gonna be basically the same on whether it's the 1-inch, 1.5 inch, whatever. And you can see here that it is not even close, so that's not going to work. But when I was digging around down there looking for screws, I did remember that I have more of, let me see if I can zoom in on this. I don't think I like ever zoom while making these videos, but basically the little hook, not the clip one, but the one that's actually in the wall, I have more of those. So I'm thinking I can basically just go down with that, and there should be, I'm guessing, no way that that would get around that. I'll obviously just check before I start drilling anything and disconnecting power and all that, but I don't see this getting around that loop. And it's metal, so that's when it needs to be, connecting to the metal part of the body and everything, so I think that'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and dig one of those out, and then probably just clear this area off so I can get this held all the way up as much as possible out of the way while I start working on all the fun solar, battery, drilling, all that fun stuff. Okay, so I was trying to figure out where I wanted to connect it, so I was looking at like the wheel well, just drilling a hole in there, and I looked over and I saw all these different bolts going into the side. I figured if those bolts are big enough, why not just connect it to there? So I took a magnet and tested that this is metal, not plastic, because it kind of has like a grainy feel, so I couldn't tell if it was like made to kind of seem like metal or not, but the magnet stuck right to it, so it's definitely metal. And it, obviously just connects to the body of the van. There's no like wood or anything in between it. And then I tested the bolt itself, and it fits right on there, like perfect fit. So I am gonna go ahead and just, obviously I have to disconnect the solar, the positive, then the negative, then disconnect the positive battery, the negative battery, and then I can, on the battery itself, disconnect that, all the negative stuff, add this to it, and then I'm gonna run the wire through one of the slots, like I have on the sides there, up here, and just connect it right on there. If there was something like lower that I could connect it to on here or something, I would do that so it's more out of the way. But I mean, it'll kind of blend in a little bit. It'll be right along like the ladder there, and then it's just a black wire going along with the black handle there, so I'm not super worried about it. And then that way everything will finally be actually grounded. And other than the fridge, electrical will just be done. So yeah, so I don't have to do any actual like drilling or anything, which will be nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten this up on there, and then I'm gonna go back underneath, like I said, disconnect everything, connect this, and then reconnect everything again to the charge controller, and it'll be all good. Okay, so everything is all hooked back up there. As I'm sure you can hear, the fan is back running. So yeah, basically just like I said, disconnect the positive. I will never, till the day I understand why they ship this with all black cables instead of red ones for the positives here, but I got the tape on them so I know which one's which when I put everything back together. But basically, PV just means solar panel, I don't know why, but disconnect positive, then negative, and then positive and negative. Loosened up the bolt that goes into the battery there. Just put that one right on top, put the bolt back in, tighten it back up. Also just check the other ones, make sure they were tight. Some of them felt a little bit loose. I don't know if that's just how I left them the last time, and you're not supposed to like go crazy over tightening on it, so I didn't do that. But yeah, so that's all good there. Everything is running. So only thing I'm gonna do now is get this closed, and then on here I'm just gonna tighten that up. I left it a little bit loose so I could kind of move it around, get it into the right place. But now that's all connected, I'll tighten that up so it's super secure, and that will be all good there. And then I'm gonna get back to working on the little basket things. Okay, so I went ahead and did a whole bunch of organizing down here. I had this box thing that I got over the weekend. It was meant for some kind of crazy food that lasts for a lifetime kind of thing, and I went ahead and just took everything out and put tools I actually like need in there. My drill won't fit in there, but I have like everything else. I have tools for working on like laptops and phones, a little set for that. I have a bunch of screws, like all the different sizes that I've been using. Duct tape, painter's tape, electrical tape, the electrical little snipping tool thing, crimping, all that. So I just put all that kind of stuff in there, and then I have these little sets that I've had for years for those basic tools. Got my set there for all that stuff, whatever the hell it's called, I can't think. And then I'm probably gonna go ahead and just leave these with somebody because I don't see myself needing them. I don't think I need to cut any more wood or sand anything at this point. And once I'm like living in here, I also don't see myself cutting or sanding anything on a regular basis. So just have that there, so I can go ahead and kind of get rid of that. The extension cord I'll keep just in case I need that for anything, but otherwise I'm just going to kind of clear that out. So yeah, so that's much more organized. I could even fit some other stuff down in here. It doesn't look like total crap with a cardboard box that's like falling apart. So that's way better now. So yeah, I think before I go ahead and start putting up more of these little baskets, I want to go ahead and do some sealant along all back here, because I haven't done that on anything back here, and such as I don't have like an actual like backsplash tile kind of fancy thing back here. I figure I should do some sealant on it, and I might just go crazy and put sealant on like a bunch of stuff. I know I want to do the windowsills. Probably should have done that before I put these curtains in, but I want to do that in case any bits of rain ever get in there, and then just wherever else I think to throw some. And then also this stuff should be good to go by now, so I can go ahead and crack open paint and the stain and go over all that stuff. So yeah, so I'm just gonna work on kind of cleaning up this mess, getting everything all organized, get the cushions back where they belong, so that way I have space in here to go ahead and do the painting all along here that I need to, and to do the staining. I'll have to pop that off real quick, but that's an easy, there's just 2 screws in there, so that's no big deal. Yeah, so then I will do that, and then hopefully that is all nice and dry by the time I'm ready to like come in here and relax later on, because I don't want to have to worry about getting like paint on the cushions or my blanket or anything like that, pillows. Not that there's going to be a lot of paint over there, just those couple little spots, but yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and get that all going, start cracking open all those different cans of paint and stain and sealant. Okay, so I started with the white, so I did those spots over there. Can't really tell where it was. There it is. And then down there, towards the bottom there. And then over here, this was just plain wood before, and I was contemplating back and forth if I wanted to paint it white, since the way this ended up with the edge here and the way that fell, and so I figured while I have the white out and I'm covering stuff up, I'll just make the whole thing white, because there's no other way really to cover up that wood putty stuff if I just leave it plain. So I figured, screw it, now's the time. I got the white paint out, I'm just going to cover it up. And then I went ahead and just covered up those spots. So I think I'm good on all the white stuff, so I'm going to get that closed back up. I'll grab the stain so I can do that real quick. I think that's the only thing I have to do there. And then I'll grab that sealant, and I already took the screws out of here, so I can just go ahead and just do this whole section, and then I'll take that pan down. I won't take the hook down, but take the pan down and do that section. I'll do the windowsills, and I don't know what else I'll do. Maybe I'll do these doors since they're by the sink here, just in case. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go around and do that. So I'm gonna pack this up and grab that stain and hit that one little spot, and then I'll just look over. I'm pretty sure that's the only spot I need to do for the stain, and that'll be good. Okay, so I just got the stain out. I've had these gloves, like a box of them, for probably like 2 or 3 months, and I keep telling myself every time that I use a stain, especially a stain, but even like paint or whatever, I'm gonna throw these on, because the stain will just get under my nails and it looks like I just have dirty, disgusting fingers for like a week straight, no matter how much I scrub the crap out of them. And every time I say like, oh, I'm gonna put those gloves on, and I forget, and the thing, I just get completely disgusting. And now the very final time that I'm gonna be staining, as far as I know, finally remember to put them on. And honestly, it's such a small job, I probably won't even really get any stain all over me. But yeah, little by little, learn from your mistakes, even if by the time you learn, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, because that's the only spot you have to cover, but whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and just, same thing like before, use the paper towel. Just going to go ahead, go with the grain, cover that up. Should be easy to cover, because the brown already almost somewhat matches. It just looks kind of weird splotchy, so just going to go ahead and go right over it. Should be easy to cover up. And like I said, that's the only spot that I can think of that needs to be stained, so I'll get that closed back up and do all the fun sealant stuff. Okay, so I went ahead and did all that sealant. You can see how shiny everything is right now while it's still working on drying. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up and check to see. I think there were a couple drops, so I'm gonna try to wipe that up with a paper towel. Went ahead and did the bottom as well as the sides. Both of these, you can tell by how shiny everything is. Alright, and I think I am ready for relaxing and eating some food. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack that up. Like I said, wipe down any of the drops, any mess that I made. And then I'm just gonna get out of here for a little bit, let the air flow through here and get rid of all the nasty smells from the stain and sealant and all that. That's what that ended up looking like. If you look at it, you can kind of still see it, sure. But if you feel it, you can definitely feel it. I just stuck my hand right in the wet stain. There definitely is some kind of roughness to it. That was a really big gash from when it ripped out. I had those 2 screws in there, so it was quite a hole in there. So definitely a little bit of a rough fix up there, but overall I think it looks decent. It's not like anything crazy there. It's way better than it was before when I had that giant hole in there. So yeah, so it's time to go ahead and get the hell out of this heat and let all those wonderful smells get pumped out of here, and I'm gonna eat some food. Alright, it is Friday morning, so I went to Lowe's last night and I picked up these little things here. So my plan for these is to get this to stay in place, because when I'm driving, especially on super bumpy roads, going around curves, things like that, this is definitely moving. You can see there is some marking there, nothing crazy. It didn't like dent the wall or anything yet, but I'm just kind of tired of listening to it bang around back here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this stuff out of the way. Take this and put it here and have the other one over on the other side, and basically be able to just spin it this way to put the pan in place or take it off of here, and then spin it back this way to kind of lock it into place then. Yeah, so that's the game plan. Should be pretty simple, I'm guessing. So I'm just gonna figure out what bit is gonna be the right size to match up with this, get the drill out and all that, and get those in place. And yeah, I am now a plant owner. So I picked up this cool looking cactus with this weird red thing growing on top of it, and this little thing. So we'll see how long they last. Okay, so I just used the drill, made 2 small holes, and then just tighten it over and over and over, just using this. I can spin it with my hands, but just to save my fingers from constantly spinning it. But when it is down like this, you can see that it is not really going anywhere. It can just kind of go a little bit side to side there, a little wobble. But then when I want to get the pan off, I can just flip these up like that, and then just lift it right off, and then put it right back, and spin these down. And definitely is a little bit intense on the fingers, spinning those. But yeah, the thread on it was only so long, and it would have been sticking way out, but I just kept spinning it anyway, and so it spun back in there to something. I mean, there's no whatever you call it behind it. That big board is over here, so I don't think it's going into that. So I don't know if it's just that thread still just barely on, you know, that 3/4 inch wood or whatever the hell this is, 1/2 inch wood or whatever size that is, or what it was going into. If it's just going to insulation, but it was still spinning and getting tighter and tighter. So ended up working out. So it kind of looks like the pan has like little vampire teeth now. All right, so I also got these bags in. So yeah, let me try to get that. There's some kind of stick up here. I didn't realize it came with that, but yeah, so try to get that somewhat centered. But yeah, so I'm gonna put on one of those little hooks. There they are. Just somewhere up here, just basically just like I did that one, just in front of the lights, going into that 2x4. And yeah, I'm probably just gonna put up the one. It came with I think 3 of them, but I'm probably just gonna put up the one because it is a decent size, and Um, I don't know, maybe I could squeeze another one in over here, but I don't know. I'll just keep them. I'm definitely not going to just throw them out, but so depending on, I don't know how much stuff this really holds, I don't know how much it stretches and stuff, but if I end up feeling like I need another one, I can always pop another one up there. I'll still have those hooks and the extra bags and stuff, but I don't know, I figure for now I can just put up the one. I don't even know what time it is if I need to get ready for work here, so I'll probably real quick throw that in up there before I have to start getting ready and stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any other changes to the van. I don't know if I showed those, but yeah, those are in up there. Yeah, and I got the little trash can in up there. Just working out really cool. Definitely fits in there. I asked on Amazon, will this fit between the seats on this? And they were like, no, it definitely won't. But I looked at the measurements and I measured it here. I was like, I think it will have more than enough space. But I was worried that because it's so small, it might like move around while I'm driving, kind of like tip side to side or anything. But it hasn't had any issues. It's sitting on top of that rubbery stuff, and I haven't noticed any problems with it at all. Seems pretty awesome. And it even has, this is what I really like about it. So you can just put regular like grocery store bags in here, and it actually has, instead of just trying to stuff the bag in there, it has this kind of spot on it. I don't know what the hell you call it, but that lip there is specifically made for the handles on a bag, so it fits perfectly in there. It's just pretty awesome. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that hook up there real quick, attach that one so it's taken care of, and I think that might be it for today. I think that might be it, and then tomorrow, I don't know what else I'm gonna be working on. I'm kind of just waiting for the fridge to eventually get here. Otherwise, I'm just kind of organizing stuff and whatnot. And at some point, I got to figure out what I'm doing with that last little basket, like those. And like I said, I do want to put some type of mirror in here. So maybe I'll put the basket back here somewhere along here, along with some type of a mirror kind of situation. So I might do that. But otherwise, not a whole lot of other projects besides just waiting and waiting and waiting on these people. I ordered it from this company called Iceco, and originally when I ordered it, it said it was going to be shipping out on the 15th. Then I emailed them on the 15th when it never shipped, and they said it was going to be 20th, maybe the 25th. Then they said it was going to ship on the 22nd, maybe the 23rd, and now it's already the 23rd, and nothing has shipped. I checked the shipping again this morning. It doesn't say order ready, it doesn't say ship, so who the hell knows when it's going to actually get here. But in the meantime, I'm just working on these little projects. So I'm going to hook this up, and who knows, that might be the end of this video for this whole week. I don't know what else I'm going to really be working on that much, but yeah, everything is starting to look a lot nicer now. It's definitely starting to look like a real livable space instead of just some weird van with wood in it. So it's definitely looking pretty awesome in here. Alright, it is Saturday, kind of still the morning. I figured why not do a little bit of cooking out here today and test out the little stove grill, whatever the hell it's called. And I was trying to light it, and basically what I would get is on this one, basically the idea is you hook up the propane and then you spin this around to here where it says ignition, and it clicks like that, and it would pop up the blue flame, and then it just goes away. And then I go, okay, let me turn everything back off, turn it back on, do the same thing happened. So I thought maybe there was an issue with this, so I decided to test this out. This is having the same kind of issue. I put it on the pilot, hold it down, little blue flame will come out there, and it says hold down for at least 30 seconds, maybe even up to a minute. I tried holding down for even a minute and a half, and it stays lit the whole time. As soon as I lift up on the pilot so that I can switch it to low or high, boom, gone. The instant that I lit off that pilot, flame is gone. So I'm doubting that the issue is with each of these individual things. I'm guessing it's something to do with like the propane line that I bought, that basically it goes from this larger connection and then changes to the smaller connection to fit into these two, because normally they use like the kind of like tubes propane, like the little tiny canisters. But you can definitely hook it up this way. I've looked into it. I just don't know why it's not working. They said you have to hold it down longer to kind of get all the air out of the line, so I've been holding down. I mean, I had that thing going for a while, had this thing going over and over with that pilot, so I don't see why there would still be any air in there that's preventing it from working right. So I'm just kind of Googling random things, trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with these things, but it's kind of tough because if I look up, you know, this won't stay lit, you know, for the Mr. Buddy heater thing, or for that stove, it tells me all this stuff about the machine, but I don't think the issue is really with the machine. I think the issue is with something with that connection between the tank here. Like this, it says it's like totally full. So I don't know what is going on with this thing. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and just I mean, the propane is definitely getting through there, but I don't think it's enough propane. I think it's the issue because the little flame on there is like tiny, and like I said, this one, it, you know, lights up at first and that just goes out pretty much immediately. Like it stores up enough propane in there to get that initial burst of flame, and then it's not flowing through right or something. But I mean, nothing's like kinked here or anything. Like it's all, you know, it's kind of winding around. There's more than enough hose there, definitely, but nothing's being like pinched or anything like that. I did have to cut in a hole back there this morning. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just keep messing with stuff and hopefully figure out what the hell is wrong here, because the tank definitely has propane. I'm guessing both of these machines work. It would be a really crazy coincidence for both of them to not be working. The hose says that it has plenty of propane. Yeah, I don't know what else to really do other than just keep messing with it and Google random things, see if I can discover some unknown thing on like how to get this actually working. Yeah, I guess I will come back and film if I actually figure something out here. Okay, I'm literally here in the parking lot of Lowe's. I went and grabbed their version of the hose and adapter. So the adapter basically just means that it goes from the big tank to the connection that fits on small things like these, and that worked for everything. It's only 4 foot long, so I'm going to see how it actually stretches between there, but it's good to know that at least now I know what the issue was. It's nothing with the heater itself, nothing with the little grill. It was definitely 100% just that stupid hose, so I will contact Amazon and let them know that that thing is a piece of shit and doesn't work, so figure out how I can get a refund for that. Just to show you. So it's really hard to see, even not on the camera, but there is flame coming out of there. I think you can kind of see it on this camera actually. And then on here, so the little flame shoots out there while I'm hitting the pilot, and then I switch it to low and it stayed on, switch it to high and it stayed on, and stuff starts to happen with this whole thing up here, whatever the hell that is. It starts to kind of like light up and heat up. So everything's working now. So I'm so glad that I figured that out. Hopefully that hose is long enough to stretch from here going up through that hole and up here to be able to hook up to the little stovetop. If not, then I will just look for another hose that does the same thing but's longer, just not this shitty brand, wherever it is, that one that I had running on there. So yeah, I'm going to look into returning that, and I'm going to go ahead and just pack all this stuff up here. And yeah, I did need to check on this. I was going to pick up more of these, but only ones I could find were gold. Well, they were labeled as brass. The picture of them looked like silver, but they were actually like golden, but they were labeled brass. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and get different colored ones. I'm going to just wait until they have these ones or find them online or something so they actually match, because everything else in here right now is silver. And then they didn't have the things I want to replace this with yet, so I didn't do anything with that. I did pick up wiring to be able to hook up that fridge whenever the hell that comes in, and I got a little toilet paper holder, so I'm just going to put that on this door, so that way there's a spot to keep the toilet paper without it just rolling all over the van. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and pack everything up and I don't know, go pack up some more stuff, figure out what the hell I'm doing with everything, and yeah, I mean, I'm basically just waiting for the fridge at this point. Now that this stuff actually works, I have like basically think everything cooking wise is good to go. I have my pan is actually not out here right now because I had to take it inside to cook with because that wasn't working. But then I also just need to bring out some type of a pot and figure out where I'm gonna put that. And otherwise I have all kinds of, you know, spatulas and knives and all kinds of stuff. I got my whole bamboo set there. That big ass spoon doesn't fit in here, so it's just back there by itself. I do have little kind of like, they're called like tumblers. They're kind of like steel, and you can either put hot stuff or cold stuff in them. So I have those coming because I don't want to have a bunch of like mugs, but that mug I got from someone I follow on YouTube, so I kept that one. And then I finally unpackaged this, and so far they haven't fallen over. And I combined the forks and spoons over there so I could fit something in there if I want to. I don't know what I would put in there, but something maybe. And then I have a strainer stuff down there. So yeah, everything is basically good to go other than just the fridge. So yeah, I will clean up, and I don't know how much else filming I'm really going to be doing this weekend because last I checked on the fridge they said they created the shipping label today. They haven't even actually shipped it, but they at least finally made the label, so there's that. But I don't see myself really doing a whole lot else with the van this weekend until whenever that finally comes in. So that might be it for this video. Who knows? Okay, so I got the open toilet paper thingy on there. I still have to pick up some type of biodegradable bag or whatever the hell they're called. But anyway, otherwise everything's looking good down there. I got my rice cooker out here plugged in, and it is working just fine. Let me see if I can pull up my battery here. So it's definitely using up some of the battery, but I mean, I expected that. It's a appliance that creates a lot of, you know, heat to be able to cook, so I'm not super surprised there. But it's not like the inverter's beeping like crazy saying that it's pulling so much power it's gonna explode or anything. But yeah, I'm definitely still pulling in a fair amount of power right now because it's still kind of like the middle of the day, so I think we will be all good. So I'm just gonna let that cook there, and in the meantime I'm still working on just kind of cleaning up the general mess that I had going on today. Just bags and boxes, stuff that I opened for the propane stuff and everything. So yeah, just getting kind of more organized and cleaned up in here a little bit better. Like I said, otherwise I'm just waiting for the fridge, so nothing else really major happening with the van right now. Okay, it is Sunday, so nothing major to update, but went back to Lowe's and picked up, found out they did have these octopus things. They were just a couple spots down from the other ones. I don't know why they didn't just have them next to each other, but so they did have the, what they call, I think they're called chrome. Yeah, chrome. I just call them silver, but whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those up back there today, and also picked up some more of these hooks. These are bigger than the ones I used on that. This is something my grandfather made. It's actually like a hot plate kind of a thing. Hot plate, hot pad. I don't know, something you put like a hot pan on top of so it doesn't like burn stuff. I don't know what the correct term is. But I'm basically you just have it, you know, standing up there, but doing it like that in the van. Basically, as soon as I start driving, that's gonna fall right over and possibly break. So I'm not gonna do that. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out of there, and I'm going to have it just up here. And I'm gonna take two of the hooks here and just put them, you know, in between whichever, you know, kind of bars on here. So they'll basically go in the wall, obviously, and then come up. And then that way, when I want to use it, I can just lift it up and take it right off, and then I can just slide it right back in there. I got bigger ones, so this is about an inch long, this portion here. I didn't really care about extra length going this way. That's just more stuff to try to screw into the wall. I'm not even sure how far in I'm going to be able to get this before I end up just hitting metal. It's pretty lengthy compared to those little ones. But I wanted to make sure that this part was long enough that I was going to be able to hold that in place, because I didn't want to have ones on the bottom and on the top and then try to, like, oh, well, turn it up every time I need it and then turn it back down to lock it into place or something. So I wanted to basically just have the 2 on the bottom and just slide it right in there and slide it right out. So yeah, so that's the project for today, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so then after I real quick put those octopus things up and figure out that, I'm gonna take some more stuff to be donated, and I think that's pretty much gonna be the video for the week. Like I said, there's really nothing else going on. I'm still just waiting on the fridge. I checked the shipping again today, and all it says is shipping label created, so I don't know, maybe they're waiting till Monday to ship it out. I don't know. Yeah, otherwise everything's kind of looking good. I'm just getting stuff organized, and yeah, I got rid of my car today, since obviously I don't need that anymore because I can't drive a car and a van. So gotta figure out what I do with that plate. I think I take it to like the DMV or something. But anyway, yeah, just gonna go ahead and put these up, and that'll be that. Alright, so here it is. It does have a little bit of wiggle room. I think I got that as like tight as I can get those in there. I think the actual like screw part of it is probably like completely through the wood, so it's not really doing anything else, but they're not gonna like slide out, and that is on there really well, I think. So I think that looks pretty cool there. So I'll go show you the octopus things. I mean, it's the same as the other ones, so they're just on there. Again, just going into the 2x4 that goes up and down here. And this one, I moved this bag back here with like my all my shower kind of stuff, so it's more out of the way, and that way this stuff is more accessible here. My jackets, suits, belts, all that stuff, and also I don't have to worry about anything really getting like wet from like the little sponge thingy or my towel or anything like that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up this stuff. I do need to do a little bit of vacuuming up here because I got dust all over from drilling out those holes there, but otherwise I think that is it for this video. So I don't know, depending on when I get the fridge, I don't even know if there will be a video next week if I don't get the fridge in, because I'm not really going to be doing anything else that I can think of in here. Everything's kind of just done at this point, so we will see. Okay, so video is not done for this week quite yet. So I thought everything here was sealed up good. Turns out there is a little bit of water coming down there, and it's been getting there, and now because I'm parked all crooked, it is leaking out. So I actually found out about it, so in a way that's good that I actually learned that there's a leak. I'm gonna go need to pick up something to seal that up properly this time, so I am going to go run and grab some kind of Flex Seal stuff and I guess spray that all over there and hope that actually takes care of it. And I'm gonna attempt to just dry that up the best I can. Yeah, so not quite done yet.